Welcome back to Warpaint TV, March 16th, 2010. Once again, I'm Shane Williams here with Chiefs Insider Nick Athen. How's it going today, Nick?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Great. Hey, the free agency for the Chiefs is finally taken off last week. It took them about 2 or 3 days, but the first signing, Thomas Jones. Thomas Jones history, the 7th overall pick in the 2000 draft out of Virginia. Spent 3 less than stellar years with the Arizona Cardinals before going to Tampa Bay in 2003, sharing the load with Michael Pittman, rushing over 600 yards. What took off for Thomas Jones was in the offseason, after the 2003 season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, your good friend Terry Shea became the Chicago Bears offensive coordinator. Terry Shea was the quarterback coach of the Kansas City Chiefs from 2001 to 2003 with Vermeil and Al Saunders. So he wanted to implement that high-scoring offense in Chicago. So the running back that Terry Shea coveted was Thomas Jones. Thomas Jones went on to Chicago, spent 3 really good years with Chicago and 3 great years with the Jets. You know, his career really took off since 2004. What does the signing of Thomas Jones mean not only to the Kansas City Chiefs, but to the Kansas City Chiefs, the other running backs on the team?
Well, I think he's definitely a strong veteran presence that the locker room needs. I mean, with the disbarment of Larry Johnson at the middle of last year, and ironically, he gets a 3-year deal from Washington Redskins with Mike Shanahan, which totally shocks me. But Thomas Jones gives Jamal Charles a guy to look up to, a guy to respect, a guy that can carry the load, maybe 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 carries a game. But I think what maybe in the back of the Chiefs' mind is to allow Charles to play some special teams. I think he needs to be the kickoff return guy. If that's the case, then they've got a Thomas Jones who can do it, spell him enough. I mean, again, he's coming off 2 great years. It's the best running back in the National Football League in the last 2 years, statistically speaking, hands down. The problem is he's 32 years old. What's he have left? Was he promised a starting job? Is there going to be a problem? The way that, the New York Jet players are talking about how much they miss him and how much they don't like LaDainian Tomlinson being signed for virtually the same money that Jones got in Kansas City leads me to believe that this was a Rex Ryan move, the coach of the Jets. And the Chiefs, targeted this guy early on. If he was going to be cut, this is a guy they wanted to bring in. They gave him a 2-year deal. There's not a lot of risk. So it's a good move. I mean, I haven't been impressed with what the Chiefs have done in free agency thus far, unless, of course, they sign Ryan Nilja, who they're rumored to be signing, the guard from Indianapolis, which is a stroke of fortune that the Colts let him go, more because of money than the physical they feel. But, again, to your question, Jones is someone that can help the Chiefs. How much he can help, remains to be seen.
Casey Wigman's back in town. He spent the last 2 years with Denver, went to the Pro Bowl in 2008. What do you feel that does for the team?
Well, I mean, he had a choice to sign with the Redskins or the Chiefs. I mean, to be reunited with Mike Shanahan or to come home where he lives. And I think I don't know what he has left. Again, another over 30 guy. They seem to be in this 30-something mode still out at Arrowhead. He'll compete for a starting job. I don't think it's guaranteed that he's going to be the starter. I think he could be a backup. I don't think Rudy Neiswanger is going to be with the team. I do expect the Chiefs to take one of the top centers in this draft no matter what. I think they have to. They have to look at the future. So I think from Charlie Weiss, the offensive coordinator's perspective, let's get a veteran center in here as a stopgap just in case we don't get the guy in the draft we want. We know Rudy's not the answer, and maybe they move Rudy to guard, but I've been told he may not make it out. Once the draft is over, they may cut him. So again, okay signing, local boy. Really excelled when he was in Kansas City. He's part of the best offensive line in the history of the organization, no question. Probably top 3 or 4 all-time in the National Football League. So it's a good guy to have back. But again, what can he really contribute?
And going to the defensive side of the ball, Romeo Crennel's own Sean Smith, a guy who really played well under him in 2007, 2008. He was with Cincinnati last year. He had some injury problems. Now he's reunited. What do you feel that adds to the Chiefs' defense?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, they only signed him to a 1-year contract, so that leads me to believe that he's, again, a stopgap. Is he better than Ron Edwards? Yes. Is he going to be the starter this year? Probably not. I mean, I think he's got an opportunity. Again, in the draft, I think they're going to go defensive tackle. They're certainly going to go offensive line and wide receiver. But if Terrence Cody, the Alabama defensive tackle, is there in the top of the 2nd round, I think that's where the Chiefs go, and they probably plug Cody in the middle and have him as a backup. So, again, another guy who hasn't really been great, has a couple of bad seasons, reunited with Romeo Crennel. Let's be fair. Romeo Crennel is a great defensive coordinator. He gets average guys to play above their abilities. He knows how to put a defense together. He's one of the best defensive minds in all of the National Football League. And if he felt this is a guy who could either be a stopgap starter or a good backup, I'm okay with it. Any decision that he makes that can make this defense better, I'm fine with. So they have history, so the move was not surprising by any means.
And wide receiver Jeremy Urban, they picked up from the Arizona Cardinals. He's been in the league 5 seasons, last couple with Arizona. Before that was Seattle. 6'3", 208 pounds, 29 years old. He's not the Cardinals receiver that we wanted. We thought we were going to get Anquan Bolden. What can you tell us about wide receiver Jeremy Urban?
Well, I mean, again, a guy who hasn't had great numbers. I think his best year was a couple of years ago, if I remember correctly. A guy who could probably play the slot. I don't think he's an outside receiver. The Chiefs need more receivers. You've got, Chris Chambers was signed, so they've got that. You've got Wade, who's still on the roster. Dwayne Bowe wants a new contract, may not show up for OTAs, mini camps. This draft is loaded from round. You can go to round 4, possibly 5, and find a guy that could probably start for half the NFL teams, and certainly you put the Chiefs above that because their wide receiver core hasn't been very good the last couple of years. So, what can he bring? Again, another guy you put in the mix and you see what happens. Again, on the opposite side of the ball, Charlie Weiss, good offensive coordinator. They're going to have some 4 wide receiver sets. They may have some 5 wide receiver sets in this offense. So they want to get guys that can catch the ball. I think he's a good receiver. He's fearless. He can catch the ball over the middle. But where he fits, again, he's a backup or he's a slot receiver. He's certainly not going to be a guy that's going to start on one of the outside positions. Do
you feel in the next couple of weeks, what do you feel the hot topic is going on with the Chiefs with either trade rumors or the draft status? What do you feel, what do you look forward to the next couple of weeks?
Well, besides the NCAA basketball tournament, there's going to be a lot of rumors out there. I mean, you're talking Brody Croyle possibly going to Buffalo. We've heard Derek Johnson possibly being moved to Houston. We've heard Glenn Dorsey possibly going to Detroit to be reunited with Gunther Cunningham. We've heard Jared Page may be out there. I mean, you're going to hear a lot of these things. I don't think we're going to see those kinds of trades, though there was kind of flurry of trades this past week with Brady Quinn going to Denver, who actually was a Chief. And Denver came in and offered a conditional pick, a first-rounder in the following year that sweetened the deal and got the deal in their direction. So you're going to hear a lot of rumors. I think the Chiefs realize this draft is really important. I think they realize how deep it is, and I think they like to acquire as many second, third, and fourth-round picks as possible because this could be the kind of draft that really puts them over to the next level. And last year's draft was kind of a bust. Outside of Ryan Sukup, it didn't really work out for the Chiefs. Again, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, I think will help. But right now, I think you need to concentrate on what guys are going to be on the roster, and you've got to start evaluating who's going to be available in the draft.
You heard it here first from Chiefs insider Nick Athen. Once again, I'm Shane Williams with Warpaint TV. Until next time, keep it right here at warpaintillustrated.com.